Just this week, a short-term rental operator with over 9,000 properties made a huge strategic change to their entire portfolio. This is going to have a big effect on you because you should copy them. There's a reason why they're doing this. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about who Sonder is, what Sonder just did, and how you need to make a complete 180 to one of your settings on your Airbnb profile. And I'm going to tell you why. You're going to get some bookings from this video, so strap in. Let's go. Welcome back, YouTube world. My name's Sean Rocky Geach. I'm an Airbnb host with about 150, yes, only 150 properties, not 9,000. I've been doing this for about 7 years, teaching it for 5 here on YouTube. If you're new here, subscribe. So some of you might have already seen in the news that Sonder announced that they're getting rid of their cleaning fee. They're doing away with it altogether. And so am I. It's one of the things that I've been split testing along with a bunch of other things. And initially I wasn't getting a big result from switching to no cleaning fee right away. But then I made an additional change and stacked that change with another change. And I'm starting to get insane results, like 100% occupancy results. For those of you who don't know this topic well enough, whether or not you charge a cleaning fee has a drastic effect on how your nightly rate populates for a 1-night stay, 3-night stay, 7-night stay. Airbnb is the only OTA from VRBO, Booking.com, etc. that allows you a lot of movement with your price, a lot of custom settings that really allow you to dial this in down to the dollar. If you've never studied pricing strategy at all, I have a free playlist here that'll get you caught up on all the basics and even a lot of my own personal tricks. If you know my content well enough for this to matter to you, I'm also hosting a webinar January 18th at 6 p.m. Central. And yes, if you're not attending, but you get a ticket, you will also get the recording. That's how this works. It's a pre-sale thing. Sign up if you want it, because what I'm doing is I'm going to deep dive on my pricing strategy, how we use rule sets, how we use really awesome custom settings to control how many check-ins and check-outs we have every day, how to get to 90% occupancy in most situations, and now how to take all of my pricing strategy education, including my private stuff from Cracking Superhost, and we're going to retool that to include a no cleaning fee. Any of you who know how complex this is, retooling all of your prices to accommodate not having a cleaning fee is a challenge. And I have made a custom Excel table for you guys. If you do attend this webinar, it's basically like a cheat sheet where you just type in everything that you have now and what you want later, and it tells you exactly what to do to your listing to make that fix. I made it because I don't want the webinar to go 5 hours. I just want the webinar to go 3 or 2 if I can keep it that short. And so that's why I made this file that you guys can take with you when you're done with it. So now, why did Sonder do this? In short, it's the algorithm, but in long, let's go there. Airbnb's made a couple major changes based on some recent sentiment. Airbnb's been getting pounded in the media over having expensive cleaning fees. People with expensive cleaning fees also have checkout lists, like a bunch of hidden costs. And when people go to Airbnb to go book something, they're noticing that people are abandoning their cart. And this is a total normal thing in online shopping. If you go to buy something online, somebody baits you into getting something for say $15, but next thing you know, with the shipping costs and taxes and other fees, that $15 becomes $45. You're not going to buy that product anymore. You will abandon your cart. So cart abandonment is a metric that everybody online cares about. And Airbnb tracks the amount of times that everybody's getting ready to book your place, but ultimately does not. And they have found in the data, much like any other website online, that when the fees get too great compared to the original agreed upon price, people just leave their cart behind and they don't buy. And further, Airbnb is afraid that this experience will drive people back to hotels. Like I said in my previous video, people are leaving the Airbnb world to go back to hotels for consistency and transparency. That's why. You can be a great host and give a 5-star experience all the time, but for every one of you, there might be 5 hosts that do a real haphazard job, and there's always some negative surprise that the guest has to deal with some things that aren't the way that they're supposed to be. People rely on travel so much, and they've realized that what they desire most is consistent, safe, planable travel. And the reason why most Americans don't get enough travel time. So this is one of those things that spill back into Airbnb's trust relationship with its guests. Airbnb believes that we are largely responsible for whether or not somebody trusts the Airbnb platform enough to come back. And they're trying to attack this many different ways, one of which is now that they're charging you when you cancel, or when Airbnb cancels on your behalf because you did something wrong. The bigger the reservation, the more money they can fine you, up to $1,000 per reservation. That's a pretty big deal. So in short, Airbnb's try to rebuild trust any way that they can. Now, adjacent to cleaning fees, there's other stuff here at play. I did a webinar January 5th where I taught everybody everything that they needed to know about the Airbnb algorithm and what to change on their listing in order to get back into the first page of search. And in large, this is working. Testimonials coming back saying, hey, this stuff really works. Thank you so much for that webinar. One of the main things I noticed, and people are having a hard time swallowing this, is that there's 2 main factors for getting your listing to come back up in search. There's going to be listing completion, which some people leave behind, and then there's smart price. I did a split test against a control group on this. What I found is if you completed your listing and checked all the boxes you missed, you get a 400% increase in views. If you turned on smart pricing, that was the only thing you did, you activated smart pricing, you got an 11x increase in views. And if you did both, you got a 23x increase in views. This was my findings against the control group. That's pretty wild, isn't it? Now, the largest individual contributor was SmartPrice. And this was a test where I made my final price the same amount of money. The guest would still pay $100 either way, but the one that was labeled as SmartPrice was getting more views because Airbnb was giving prioritization to a listing that was using SmartPrice because it's a widget that Airbnb wants you to use. See, if you use Airbnb's features, they're gonna push you more. Not using cleaning fee, that seems so strange because we just said use the widget, right? A cleaning fee is a widget, but now cleaning fee is a widget that everybody has that now has a negative reputation. So what Airbnb is now arguably doing is they are throttling people for using the cleaning fee, regardless of how much that cleaning fee is. Now, there's some gray to this. It's not entirely true that if you put $1 on your cleaning fee, you're gonna get crushed. That's not how this works. Again, it's about cart abandonment. And in my webinar, Target Price, January 18th, we're gonna talk about cart abandonment and what percentage of your cost could maybe safely be a cleaning fee if you have really big properties. There is a way to do a hybrid, I do believe. I'm gonna go into that. But Sonder, hence the beginning of this video, has over 9,000 mostly apartments. And when you have mostly apartments and your cleaning costs are low, you should just go straight $0 cleaning fee. We have our own in-house cleaning staff. We pay them roughly $15 an hour on average now. We used to only pay 12 prior to COVID, but inflation and stuff, we pay now about 15. And we've got, 5, 10, 15, 20 apartments in one building, and a housekeeper can clean 2, 3, 4 apartments a day, maybe even 5. And with that, we can keep our housekeeping costs super low. So if you have any control of your housekeeping costs, I would recommend go $0 cleaning fee. If your cleaning fees are 40, 50, 60 bucks for an apartment, you can still do a $0 cleaning fee and get the same effect. And what I am rounding to tell you is if you collected the same amount of money, let's say you collected $150 for your nightly rate and a $50 cleaning fee, that's 200 bucks. If you just collected $200 in your nightly rate and $0 was a cleaning fee, same 200 bucks, Airbnb is gonna show the one without the cleaning fee first. I do believe this is true, and my data is going to support that. I took one of my properties in Austin that had a beleaguered calendar and I made the change. The change wasn't initially effective until I also made another change. And what that change was, I made a brand new account. And the reason why I did this is Airbnb in a way asked me to, kind of. I have a rep and they assigned me a new rep. So we're going through this rep handoff. And the last thing that my last rep said to me is, hey, how many admin accounts do you have? I was surprised by that question. Normally you'd be led to believe that you're only allowed to have one. If you have multiple accounts, that must be some sort of weird hack. But researching Sonder, you see that Sonder has a Sonder Austin account and a Sonder Houston account and a Sonder Philadelphia account and a Sonder Boston account. I'm like, okay, this is starting to make sense. When you're operating in an enterprise level, it is good to segregate your stuff. They recommended that I take a new account and take all my best properties, put them on a new account, and then take all my middling properties and just leave them there. So I decided to do, I'm like, okay, if they're cool with us making new accounts, I wonder if when Airbnb did its winter update, if it was striking listings permanently, striking accounts permanently based on some arbitrary data. I was like, this no cleaning fee thing has to work. We were making other changes and starting to get a lot of traction. I'm like, there's gotta be a way to prove this no cleaning fee thing. So I made a new account. I took 5 of our listings, the ones that I repainted in that previous video. So I'll buy 5 most interesting listings and I put them on a fresh account. And within 24 hours of them being visible, 100% occupancy. I think we set the listings up on like a Tuesday at 6 p.m. And by Wednesday midday, they were visible and had views. I did take a screenshot on Wednesday to show that Wednesday morning, we still didn't have any views yet because the listings just became active on Wednesday. And within 24 hours of that, today, Thursday, all of our listings, all 5 are booked. So this shows if you use a combination of the stuff that I taught in re-algorithm, and just make sure that everything's tight for the algorithm, and you use a $0 cleaning fee, and you have a fresh start on a new account, Airbnb will push your listings. And to push them in good faith from scratch, because like what I said, Airbnb wants you to use their widgets. And in this case, not using a cleaning fee is equal to using a new widget, right? They want you to abandon the cleaning fee because like I said, the back-end fees, when you read the line items on Airbnb, people are like, I wanted to pay $700 for the stay, but this $200 cleaning fee and the taxes and the service fee make it $1,300. I wanted to pay $7, it's $13, I'm gonna abandon my cart. Airbnb is trying to solve the cart abandonment percentage problem that they're having right now.
Hey everyone, small afterthought. I know I said that we recreated our listings with the $0 cleaning fee as our way to relaunch and really prime this. Somebody asked a valid question, and we talk about this in the pricing strategy videos, but yes, when I create a new listing, the very first 3 to 5 days, we gut that price because Airbnb's algorithm looks at the very first month of your occupancy a lot. And so if you have any empty days your first month, they will clip you even more than normal on your interest metrics. So if you drop your rate more than you like for today because your listing is live today for the very first time, that's going to be net good for you long-term. Like your next week, the week after, will get more bookings at full rate because you have a booking today. Like I said in my last webinar, Realgorithm, Airbnb looks at future bookings as an interest metric. So what we want is we want tomorrow and the next day booked right away. So that way we get pushed more for next week. That means we get next week booked at a full rate. And the fact that those start to build up snowballs into permanent interest data. Again, guys, we're going to cover all this in that webinar. I'll see you there. And I know what you guys are about to say, so let me make another note. If we're dropping prices to get booked today, tomorrow so much, why not just do it on the old listing? That'll work, right? That's actually false. The prices we've dropped now, today, tomorrow to get booked, are still twice as much net than the prices we've been trying to charge with the old listing to get booked. That's right. Old listing, old account, old Airbnbs, half the price for a same day or next day booking, and we still weren't getting booked. But now with the new listing, $0 cleaning fee, all the changes, we don't have to drop as much. And that means you won't have to drop as much either. And that's extra money in your pocket. That's a big deal.
I know some of you have already been operating with no cleaning fee. I know some of you have recently changed that. I know some of you have made some other changes based on the Realgorithm webinar. I would love to chat with you in the comments about your experiences, either from your OG no cleaning fee strategy or anything new that you've been doing lately. And for those of you just sheerly curious on the math of why this can be difficult, I want to give you a scenario. Let's say your listing's $100 a night, right? That means 7 days is $700. If you have a $100 cleaning fee, 7 days plus your $100 cleaning fee is $800. If somebody stays for 3 days, 3 days at 100, that's 300 plus your one-time cleaning fee, that's $400. One night stay is $200 because you got a one night at 100 plus $100 cleaning fee. So you got a night for $200, 3 nights for $400, 7 nights for $800. Now, if you wanted one night to be $200, you'd have a $200 nightly rate if you have no cleaning fee. But the problem is now a 3-day stay is $600 and a 7-day stay is $1,200. This doesn't work. So let's say you want that 3-night stay to be $400. Well, you make your rate like $133 a night. But now if somebody books for one night, it's only $133 instead of $200. Now you're losing money there. And then if you go and you do the math for a 7-night stay, you're looking at like $933 or something like that. Somebody might still pay that, which would be nice, but you're still not optimized. All of your prices start to deviate. So you need to start using percentage discounts and other things like that. There's a way to do it both hybrid. If you have a huge house with a $350 cleaning fee, you could just take like a $80 or $120 cleaning fee and do a hybrid approach, or you could just wipe the cleaning fee altogether. I do think for the biggest properties, we do need some cleaning fee because baking in a little bit of a nightly rate makes what we're about to teach you to do way less drastic in the webinar. Big houses should probably use a hybrid of a very small cleaning fee, but properties that are like 2-bedroom or smaller, maybe even some 3-bedroom apartments, should do a 0 cleaning fee strategy. If you get really fancy with your pricing strategy, like the stuff that I teach with rule sets, there is a way to still use elegant rule sets that give 2-day, 3-day, 4-day incentives, but do it with no cleaning fee. And of course, naturally, we're going to keep following this and see how this stuff performs. Next step for our portfolio, we're going to be making new accounts for multiple parts of Dallas and another one for Houston. And we're going to attack this the same exact way that we did it with Austin. And we hope to replicate our results. It's going to be awesome. And as always, if you have any questions, I'll be right down there in the comments to have a conversation with you. Maybe I'll even make a video on your behalf. Thank you so much for watching this video. Good night, guys. It's getting late. I'll see you on the other side.